Hello!
Ahoy!
Welcome to episode 11 of season 2 of Bottom of the Stream.
Here we are, back on the boat.
Back on the boat. It's cold, isn't it?
Yeah.
Pretty chilly tonight.
It is.
How have you been?
Yeah, very good.
Yeah?
Very good. I have had to scrape like the ice and frost off my car most of the days this week.
Yeah, it's been chilly.
Winter is here.
Winter is definitely here. Christmas is coming. You've still got your shorts on though?
Yep.
Podcast shorts?
Only just.
What?
I am.
What?
Well, no, I don't mean like that. I'm not like going to whip
Don't
them
take
off.
them off.
I came pretty much straight from work.
Yeah, we're a
to
bit
here.
earlier tonight than we normally are. We
So-
usually record quite late of an evening.
I nearly turned up in my away kit, which would have just been my work stuff.
Well, you have still got your shirt and tie on,
Yeah.
but just shorts on at the bottom half, like a newsreader.
Smart casual. So I did stop off at home and managed to put the podcast kit on. So
Excellent. It's nice to see your old knees again.
thanks.
How have you been? What have you been up to?
Yeah, I'm very well. I've been up to I've been out this week.
You've been out?
Yeah,
Out of the house?
yeah,
Wow.
yeah, and
Impressed.
there's a Netflix connection.
Wow, good.
So I went to see RuPaul's Drag Race,
Oh, really?
Live.
Live?
Yeah.
Oh, amazing. How was that?
which is a show that's in this country is on Netflix.
Yep, that's
and then
true. I'll vouch for that.
the UK version has been on the BBC, and that's just finished. So that's what we went to see. A load of drag queens strutting their stuff for a few hours.
Excellent. What sort of thing do they do? I know
It
they do a lot of lip syncing on the show.
It depended on what their talent was. So you
Right.
had some lip syncing, you had a couple of singers.
All right.
One of them, at one point, busted out a My Chemical Romance song. And
Wow.
absolutely amazing voice.
Really?
Absolutely fantastic. And then you had one who did some rope tricks. So, as it not like a magician, I literally climbed up
Oh,
a
right.
rope and swung around, and you know,
While all dragged up.
yeah, and no safety net or anything. Just all that was really impressive.
Awesome.
And then there was one of them was like a stand up, and yeah, it was good.
Sounds like a good week.
Yeah, it was a good laugh. It was
Good
good.
times. Excellent. What should we talk about? Oh, I'll run through the socials.
Good plan.
I've not done that yet. Follow us on Twitter at BOTS_podcast. Follow us on Instagram at BOTS_podcast. They're both the same, so it's easy to remember. Facebook.com/bottom of the stream. And the website is www.bottomofthestream.com, where you'll find every episode we've ever recorded and both seasons stream tables, so you can see what's there and what order they're in.
We've done that thing again where we haven't introduced ourselves in case there's anyone new listening.
Okay, you introduce you.
I'm Nick.
And I'm Adam.
That's it.
There you go. That's all you need to know. At this point, I am going to put in a promo for one of the Pod Nation.
Hey, did you know that in the original Bloody Mary ritual, you had to walk backwards up a flight of stairs?
Oh, really? No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and the purpose was to catch a glimpse of your future husband's face.
Really? I wish I could find my future husband that easily.
Honestly, all I really want to do now is drink a Bloody Mary.
Well, how about we go make some Bloody Marys while you tell me more fun facts about Bloody Mary?
Join us every week at Booze and Spirits.
Where we make our favorite drinks and tell each other our favorite paranormal stories.
Find us under Booze and Spirits on Spotify, Google Play, iTunes, and Podbean.
And follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Booze and Spirits.
So go and listen to that. I don't know who they were, but they'll be really good because all the Pod Nation podcasts are really good. And you can check out the Pod Nation list on podchaser.com. Admin done.
One more bit of admin.
Oh, I always forget the admin.
I know. Just a thanks to Cage's Kiss for having
Oh, yeah,
us on.
definitely. We were on last week's episode of Cage's Kiss.
Yep.
So if you've not listened to that, go and check them out. We talked about Matchstick Men,
Yeah.
2003 Nicolas Cage film. So yeah, go and check that out. It's a really good episode. I'm quite proud of that.
Yeah, it was fun. It was a lot of fun to
We
do.
had to record it really late at night because they were on the other side of the world.
Yes.
So it was cross-continental. It was good.
Time differences and all
Yeah.
that.
So yeah, thanks to them for having us on, and I'm sure we'll return the favour at some point if a Cage film ever comes out of the bag again.
Yeah, that would be good.
Yeah,
That would be
we'll
good.
see what happens. Watched anything good at the top of the stream this week?
We talked last week about a documentary series called The Toys That Made Us.
Yes.
So this week I've watched an episode of its spin-off series, The Movies That Made Us.
Oh, I've watched 2 episodes of that.
Oh, wow. Okay. I watched the Ghostbusters one.
I watched the Ghostbusters one, and I also watched the Home Alone one.
Oh,
That
okay.
was good. Yeah. So what did you think of the Ghostbusters one?
Really good.
Yeah, it was good actually. It was really interesting.
Yeah.
Stuff you don't really realise happened.
Yeah, I didn't realise the whole thing about how they only got the name Ghostbusters right at the last minute.
Yeah,
I had no idea
some sort
about
of copyright issues and things like that.
Yeah, it was like a 60s or 70s
Yeah, like
sketch show had it.
Yeah, it was quite interesting. I never knew that.
And the fact that the whole project nearly went under when Coca-Cola bought the movie studio.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was really interesting.
Yeah, it was good. Dan Aykroyd was on with his ego as well, so that was good.
Do you know he wrote Ghostbusters?
He did mention it a couple of times in that.
But it's done really well in that because they every time they talk, like they interview Ivan Reitman, and he talks about how they had to basically rewrite the whole thing.
Yeah.
Still with Dan Aykroyd, but they had to change from the original plan a
Yeah.
lot, and then it just cuts back to Dan Aykroyd looking really sad.
The way those episodes are made, with the toys that made us and the movies that made us, are both really good. How they do that, so
Yeah, it's really
quite
funny.
often.
It's very tongue in cheek.
Yeah. The Home Alone one was good. It had got the one who isn't Joe Pesci.
Okay.
What's his name? Daniel Steed?
Stern.
Yeah. Yeah, he was quite good on it because he turned the role down originally,
Oh, okay.
and because he was told originally, I think it was like something like 6 weeks work, and then they upped it to 8 weeks work, but didn't up the money. So his ego was like, "No, I'm not doing it." And so they cast somebody else, and then that wasn't working. So they went back to him and asked him if he'd do it again, and that's how he ended up in the role.
Was Macaulay Culkin on it?
No.
Oh.
The guy who played Buzz was on it.
Oh yeah.
I think that's it, just those two. But it was good.
I'll check that one out.
I was quite sad as well because of obviously with John Hughes and that sort of thing.
Well, the Ghostbusters one was as well.
Yeah.
Obviously, with Harold Ramis passing away a few years ago, it was quite emotional. Actually,
I've not watched I don't think I'll watch the Dirty Dancing one.
I probably will.
I'll probably go for the Die Hard one next. That's the 4, isn't it? Dirty Dancing and Die Hard are the other 2. I don't know if I'll go back to the toys that made us this year. I can't remember what the ones are. The Power Rangers I might watch. I can't remember what the other one was. There's another one.
There was. I think it was a more
recent-y type thing.
female-centered one.
My Little Pony?
No, I haven't seen that one. That was from one of the other series, though. I can't remember. I'm not sure off the top of my head.
But it's the sort of thing you don't have to watch them in any order, and you can just watch the ones you're interested in. So
yeah,
that's what I've done. I might go back to it just because it's quite an entertaining show.
Yeah, I would recommend them.
What else have I been watching? BoJack Horseman. I started the latest season of BoJack Horseman. It's all right. It's kind of, the show's lost its shine a little bit for me. It's not what it once was, but I'm so far in now, I can't give up on it.
Is it coming to an end?
I don't think so.
No, I'm not sure.
I don't think they've announced an ending for it, and it just doesn't feel as fresh as it used to. I think that's probably what it is.
Okay.
I also watched an episode of Bottom, which is on Netflix, because we were
talking. I didn't know it was on Netflix.
Yeah, the whole thing's on Netflix. So we were talking about that on Cage's Kiss, weren't we?
Yeah, surprisingly, so Linda on Cage's Kiss is a massive fan of Rick Mail.
Yeah.
And that was one of the many
that was one of the
side tracks we went down.
So it just got me in the mood for it. So I might just watch that.
Okay, cool.
All the way through now. I think that's it. Admin-wise, we've got any Netflix news? I haven't seen any Netflix news.
No, I don't think so.
Oh, they've announced today that Lock and Key is coming in February.
Right.
So Lock and Key is the graphic novels that Joe Hill writes, who's Stephen King's son.
Right.
And that's being adapted into a TV series, which is coming in February. So I knew it was coming, but they've announced today that it's coming in February. So that's quite exciting. I've never read them. I don't really even know what they're about. But
excellent.
That's coming in February.
I've
just seen that earlier. A lot of people are watching The Irishman.
Yeah, Martin Scorsese's been popping up quite a lot this week.
Yeah.
He's had a rant about
don't watch it on your phone.
Don't watch it on your phone. Don't watch it on your smartwatch.
Yeah. Just watch it on your watch.
Yeah.
People do that?
Yeah, because someone had tweeted them watching it on their, I presume, on their Apple Watch.
Don't do that to anything. That's
so
watching it on your phone's bad enough, but watching it on your watch is...
He was also wound up because someone had tweeted the timestamps to turn it into a mini-series.
My brother sent me that. He sent me an image where it tells you where to stop the film.
Yeah. So
turn it into a 4-episode mini-series.
Yeah, you break it into 4 episodes.
I might actually do it. Just because I haven't got 3.5 hours to sit and watch it.
So Scorsese didn't like that either.
No, he didn't. But I might go against him on that. Because I haven't got 3.5... I never get 3.5 hours to sit and watch a film.
In a row.
So I might do it. I might do it as the mini-series. And maybe I'll do 1 episode a week and we'll talk about it or something. Okay. I don't know.
I need my sleep. We've got jobs to go to.
Who wants to watch a 3.5-hour film? Oh, another one thing that we should mention is that 2 more of the season 1 stream table films got removed from Netflix.
I know, it was a bit of a cull.
Which ones was it? It was Wish Upon.
Yep.
And
Ghost Team.
Ghost Team surprised me because that's a Netflix original.
Okay, maybe someone finally watched it.
They claim it as a Netflix original.
Yeah.
So, and I don't think they normally remove their original stuff. So
I'm sure it'll be back.
I'm sure it will. Yeah, it's a shame. Wish Upon was the one film that we really argued about last season.
Because it's terrible.
Because it's awesome. And yeah, so we've lost like 5 of them now.
I know.
But none from season 2 have gone yet, which would be bad. So hopefully we'll survive the whole season without any of them getting called, but you never know with Netflix.
You don't. I mean, but there is always that disclaimer that things do come back as well. So you just never know.
You never know what's going to happen. Anything else?
I do have a game for us to play this week.
Excellent.
It's linked to our film, so I don't know if we want to do a quick
We'll do a quick summary of the film then, and then we'll play the game. We'll do it in a bit of a weird order.
Okay, fine.
So this week's film that we watched is called The Man Who Killed Hitler and Then the Bigfoot, which was my wildcard selection from last week.
You did, so it didn't come out of the randomizer. You vetoed the randomizer.
I vetoed it. I vetoed the randomizer last week because a Spanish subtitled film came out and I wasn't in the mood for that. And I've been waiting for an opportunity to bring this one as my wild card, so I did. I didn't know anything about the film other than its title, and so we're going to watch that. It's from 2018. It's a 15. It's 1 hour and 38 minutes long, currently rated at 5.6 out of 10 on IMDb. And it's about a man who killed Hitler and then the Bigfoot.
Yep.
So we'll go into it into more detail, but do you want to play your game now?
Bit of a spoiler in the title, but that is essentially the synopsis. As I said last week, that is the synopsis of the movie. Yeah, so this movie is partly half set, basically, in World War II.
Yes.
So, I've got a game linked to war films. I want to know,
Oh, God.
Can you tell the difference between the heat of battle and the heat of passion? Because we're going to play war film or war film.
That might be your best title so far.
I was so proud of this one.
That's brilliant. We had to request to bring another game in this week, didn't we? So
we did. So Jordan Jensen.
Yep. Shout out to Jordan. It's our Grief Burrito boy. One of our Grief Burrito boys.
He made the comment that we hadn't done a game for a while, so challenge accepted.
I don't even think it's been that long. He's watching him, listening to him in a weird order.
I think we did one at Halloween.
Yes, we did before.
I think Emo or Nemo may have been the last one.
I think Emo or Nemo probably was the last one.
So, war film or war film.
Okay.
So, I'm going to give you...
I'd love to get inside your mind sometime.
I'm going to give you some film names, and you have to tell me, is it a war movie or is it an erotic movie?
Okay. Okay, I can do this.
War or war?
War or war.
Usual rules. So
best of 5.
Yeah, best of 5.
Okay.
So we will start with Book Privates Come Home.
Book Privates Come Home.
Yep.
As in BUCK.
Yep.
Book Privates Come Home. War.
Correct.
Yes.
Good start. It is really old. It's a Bob Hope film from the 40s.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Good start. Okay.
Thanks.
The Duke of Burgundy.
Oh, the Duke of Burgundy. That sounds like it could go either way.
That's the point of the game.
The Duke
Not making it easy for you.
The Duke of Burgundy. War film.
Incorrect.
Oh, no.
It is a war film.
And what does this entail, this film?
So The Duke of Burgundy is an American film from 2015.
Okay.
A drama about the relationship between a pair of female lovers who play games of dominance and subservience.
Oh. So when we're talking war, we're not talking porn. We're talking...
No, they're proper films.
The proper films.
Yeah.
They're just sexy.
What do you think? What sort of establishment do you think this is?
Well, I live here. I know what sort of establishment this is.
Okay, 1-1. 1-1. Okay. So, next one. Let George Do It.
That sounds like a kid's book.
It does, doesn't it?
Let George... That's got to be a war film.
It is.
Yeah.
I didn't know if you'd think it was like one of these campy British 70s.
Yeah, it did sound a bit like
that. Misses. No, it's a war film.
It's an awful title for a
Yes,
film.
George Formby.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so again, old.
Very old.
Yeah, from the 40s. Okay, so that's 2-1 to you.
Yeah.
Next one. All Things Fair.
Oh, All Things Fair. That doesn't give anything away.
It's in love and war. That's the whole thing.
War.
Correct.
Yes. Can't lose now. 3-1.
It's a Swedish film from the 90s. Oh, that right. Okay, so yeah, all right. Just for fun, then the last one, Operation Swallow.
Oh wow, Operation Swallow. That's got to be a war film. Just because if it's not a porn film, it's definitely a war film.
It is a war film.
Yeah.
Well done.
It's porn if it isn't.
It's a French film about.
I wonder if something's lost in the translation slightly. Operation Swallow. That's brilliant.
It's about a Norwegian squadron going and behind enemy lines and doing war missions. Yeah.
Nice.
Good. Well done. 4-1.
Excellent.
That's a lot better than your last.
Yeah,
last game.
Quite happy with that one. I don't really even watch a lot of war films, especially from the 30s and 40s.
There was a lot more double entendre from that around that time period. By the looks.
Yeah, definitely. Right, let's get into the film, shall we? Because we're like 15 minutes in now. So, yeah, as I said earlier, The Man Who Killed Hitler and Then the Bigfoot is the 2018 film. Stars Aiden Turner as Calvin Barr.
Yep.
As a young Calvin Barr.
Correct.
Who you will know from Poldark.
I won't because I didn't watch it.
Nor do I.
But there are, how shall I say this? I know quite a few ladies of a certain age.
Who love Poldark.
And they think this guy is...
the bomb.
The absolute shits.
He was actually voted the sexiest man in the world in 2016.
Really?
Yeah.
So that's like a BBC costume drama, isn't it?
Don't know, no idea.
I think it is.
Is it BBC or ITV? It's British.
He's all like in his britches, isn't he? And,
Yeah, I've never watched it. I've
stuff.
no idea if people want to let us know what it is. He's also in the Hobbit films. So
I've not seen them.
I've seen 2 of them, I think. I might have seen all. How many is there? 3?
Yes.
I might have seen all of them. I don't know. But he's in them. Also stars Sam Elliott as an older version of the same character, Calvin Barr. And you will know him from pretty much everything. He's Western.
A total legend.
He's in a lot of war films, I would imagine. He is a total legend.
I will know him most from The Big Lebowski,
yeah,
which
he's in
is
The Big
one of my
Lebowski.
favourite films of all time.
Yeah, he's in that. He's in Roadhouse, and he's also in A Star Is Born.
Yeah.
Which he had an Oscar nomination for.
Yeah.
So he's Oscar nominated, although not an Oscar winner. So we're still only at 2 Oscar winners on the show.
Correct.
You'll know him. Just Google him. You'll know who he is. He's a hero. He's a legend.
His voice is so nice as well.
It is. You could just listen to him all day.
If he could read me a bedtime story, I'd have no trouble sleeping whatsoever.
I know what to get you for Christmas. Sam Elliott reads.
He must have done
bedtime stories.
some audio books, yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure he has. Directed by and written and directed by a guy called Robert D. Kruskowski.
Yeah.
Yeah. But this is his first and so far only film, so not really done a lot. I can't tell you anything about him.
Good.
There you go.
You've told us this is his first film. That's it.
I'm going to bring this back. Do you want to give me a one-word review? Do you know why I'm bringing this back? Because Jordan asked me to.
Okay, right.
Shout out to Jordan Shenton again.
It might only be 1 week only because we may forget going forward.
Absolutely.
I will go for moving.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
I found this quite a moving film.
Me too.
And I was not expecting that.
Nor was I.
We will get into that.
We will. This is not what you expect from its title, that's for sure. So, how does the film start?
So Sam Elliott plays Calvin Barr, and he is sitting in a bar.
Yeah.
Which I found quite amusing.
I hadn't picked up on that. I like it.
And it's kind of an undetermined period of time.
Yeah.
But it's kind of made reasonably clear straight away just from the sort of soundtrack and the decor that I think we're in the 80s.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think for the timeline to work as well.
Yeah.
You have to be in the 80s because he's like 30 during the war scenes.
Yeah.
So he'd have to be like 100 to now. Yeah. So I think he's like it's supposed to be 70s, isn't he? So yeah, I would agree with that. 80s set over 2 time periods. This film.
Yeah. So all the way through this, we'll switch between the 1980s and old Calvin, shall we call him, and World War II.
Yeah.
And that is young Calvin.
Yes.
So we start off in this bar, and he is drinking his sorrows away, basically.
Yeah.
But not for very long, because very quickly we get a switch or a flash back to the war.
We do.
And young Calvin is trying to get into a, what would you call it, country house?
Yeah, like
basically a Nazi
stronghold,
base, isn't it?
Yeah, he's at like a reception desk, isn't he, getting signed in. And basically they're asking him loads of questions. He gets frisked. He has to get empty his pockets, and he's dressed as a Nazi.
Yeah.
So he's
undercover.
obviously trying to infiltrate. He's undercover.
The first bit straight away I made me laugh in this film. The guy who's like signing him in looks at his watch.
Yeah.
It's a swastika watch.
Yeah.
So there's no hands on it.
It's just a little swastika turning round as a second.
It really made me chuckle.
You can't tell the time on it.
No.
It's just brilliant. It did make me chuckle, actually. That's when I thought might be getting a comedy. Because obviously we have no idea what sort of genre we're looking at here. I thought, maybe we're getting a bit of a dark comedy. We didn't. So
no, but when it does decide to throw a joke in, they're quite like, I don't necessarily mean this as a criticism. They're quite low bar jokes, aren't they? Yeah. I've already used that word too much.
Good pun.
They're quite, lowest common denominator type things, which is fine. It works fine.
Yeah, absolutely. And he manages to get in, and once he's in, he starts assembling a gun. Yeah. From the objects that he had in his pocket.
Yeah, so it's like a hip flask,
a pen, a lighter, various other things, and he manages to assemble them into this like transformer. Yeah, it's a gun. So he's got a gun, and he's behind enemy lines inside some sort of Nazi safe house. And he goes he gets into an office, and there's a man standing at the other side of an office, and then it flashes back to the future.
It does.
So we're back with him in the bar. So he's kind of the flashbacks are told as if they're his memories, aren't they? Because he always like stops and thinks for a little bit.
Yeah, it's sort
before
of
it
when
comes on.
he's quietly sitting and contemplating,
yeah.
or he's daydreaming, basically, isn't he?
Yeah.
And that's how they sort of, as you say, they swipe into all these flashbacks.
Swipe. Good word.
Thanks.
Yeah, and the barman tells him, "Look, you're looking a bit bedraggled. You look like you need a holiday." And he kind of dismisses that. He says, "I'm going to give up drinking." And the barman says, "Okay, I'll see you tomorrow."
Yeah.
And
They are obviously having
they've
this
obviously had that conversation many times. So he obviously sits in this bar every night. But on his way back to his car, he gets accosted by 3 hoodlums.
He does.
So it's quite a long way back to his car, and he probably shouldn't be driving anyway.
No.
He's clearly had a few to drink. But he walks through the town a little bit and gets back to his car, and these 3 guys who are trying to mug him come up to him, and they're asking him, they want his wallet, but he's just given all his money to a
wallet and car keys.
Wallet and car keys, yeah. And he's just given all his money to a homeless man, hasn't he? And he doesn't want to give his wallet up because there's a picture of a girl in there, an old picture of a lady in there.
It's an old picture of a young lady.
Yeah, an old picture of a young lady.
Yeah, made it sound like it was an old lady.
It's got a young picture of an old lady. Yeah, and he takes offence to this potential mugging and beats the crap out of all 3 of them.
Yeah, well, they take his breaking point is they take his wallet, and lead thug takes this picture out and he burns a hole in it with a cigarette. That is when our hero Calvin Barr beats the shit out of these 3 guys.
Yeah, he does. He's in his 70s, and these young lads are in their like late teens, early 20s, and he beats the crap out of all 3 of them.
Are they dead?
I don't think they were dead. One of them was definitely moving.
Oh, was he? Okay.
Yeah.
You got better
eyesight
than I have.
He did hit them hard.
Yeah.
They were all unconscious, but one of them was definitely moving because he gets in his car and drives away.
And he pulls up outside his house.
Yeah.
And he just breaks down in tears.
Yeah. And this is the point where you really get to like...
And I was like,
wow.
Whoa. I'm not sure I was expecting this level of emotional...
It gets heavy quite early.
Yeah.
And so it's the point... It makes you kind of build up a relationship with him as a character.
Yeah.
And you kind of feel empathy with him from this point onwards. And I think that this film did that really well. You kind of build up this... he had a likability about him.
Yeah, he did. Absolutely.
Yeah. So it cuts then to the title card, and it's done like it's on a really old computer. It's just like white text.
It's a bit kind of like grindhousey, isn't it?
Yeah. It's just like white text hovering over the screen with the name of the film on.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a bit strange.
Because you don't really have any of those similar stylistic choices throughout any of the rest of the film.
Not really. It's a really well shot film. It's a really beautiful looking film.
And then they go sort of really grainy with the title card,
the graphics,
and stuff.
Yeah.
Which is a bit strange, but
a bit strange, yeah. So the next morning he's making breakfast, and
he's got a dog. I've put.
Oh yeah, he does have a dog, and he's
just doing his daily
doing early morning routine. Yeah, he goes out to breakfast, goes to have a shave, and that's when he starts shaving is when you get his next flashback.
Yeah. And you probably don't need too much detail of this because it's just another character building bit, isn't it? But it's young Calvin having a shave, or being given a shave
by
a Russian rebel.
Yeah.
So he's out in the field. He's sort of in we'll say Germany, but wherever. And he's met sort of the rebels who are going to sort of send him on his way and
help him kind of get into Germany and into the area.
And the guy does a whole sort of monologue, doesn't he, about how if I give you a good shave, then your mission is cursed.
Yeah, if you don't bleed, then your mission is cursed. But if I cut you and make you bleed, then you will be successful and your mission is good luck. But unfortunately, the shave is perfect.
Yes.
So the mission will fail, is what the Russian man says. But then he says, "But you will succeed. But your mission is cursed."
Yeah, he says, you will succeed.
Your mission will fail.
Cursed.
You will succeed. Your mission will fail, but you will succeed. But you are cursed. You will be cursed from my shave. It's very confusing because he kind of backtracks on what he says, and then we cut back. We cut back to the present day again.
More just daily business, isn't it?
Yeah. Basically taking his dog out for a walk. He's got something in his shoe, which he can't get out, which will become more. I've read a theory on what that means.
Okay.
So I'll talk about that at the end because it comes around again later in the film.
Yeah, he can't get something out of his shoe.
He's got something in his shoe and he can't get it out.
And then, so he sits down on a bench, doesn't he?
Yeah.
And he looks up and that starts his next flashback, which is basically where he met Maxine, who was his sweetheart.
Yeah.
For want of a better word.
Yeah, it's a good word.
And how they started courting.
Yeah.
back just before the war started, and he met her when he was working in a hat store.
Yeah. Which was he sitting outside the hat store in the present day?
I believe so.
Yeah, and then
I believe it was the same building.
Yeah, I think it was. And then we go back to the future, back to the present day, and he finds a lottery ticket on the floor.
Yeah, it's like a scratch card, isn't it?
Like a scratch card, yeah.
A winning scratch card.
It's worth $100, and he takes it into the local news agents or wherever you buy scratch cards from in America, and he hands it in. Tells the guy that I didn't win, because the guy says to him, "I'll just get your money," and he's like, "Well, I didn't win it. It's not my ticket." Which is again showing how he's a good person. And
he's a man of principles.
A man of principle and honour. And he even says to the guy, "Look, keep the card for a couple of days. If nobody claims it, it's yours. You have it." So, and the man gives him a dog biscuit for his dog, which even then he pays for that.
So far, so sweet and nice, I guess.
Yeah. So then he's just like you say, going around his daily business. So he decides, I'm going to go for a haircut.
Mm-hmm.
And so he goes into this barber's, which is called
Ed's,
and it turns out the barber's his brother.
Yeah, his little brother.
Yeah, his younger brother. He was quite considerably younger, I think.
Yeah, I'd say like 15, 10, 15 years younger.
I agree. And he says a line that I really enjoyed in this film, because it's in the trailer as well. And he says to him, "I killed someone during the war. I didn't want to, even if he had it coming," which he did.
Yeah.
Which I think is a really good line. And it is in the trailer as well. And then it kind of flashbacks again.
There was some good lines in just while he was sitting in having his haircut. He said, "I'm just thinking of the things I should have done differently."
Yeah.
Which at this stage, I think you're obviously meant to think it's the whole killing Hitler thing.
Yeah.
But that's not the chief thing that's on his mind, as we'll come to.
It's very much not the chief point of this film.
No.
And yeah, we'll come to find out. They have quite a strained relationship, him and his brother. They're friendly, but you can tell they're not like really close. So
I think you glean this from the few scenes they have together, and I thought the chemistry between Sam Elliott, and I'm not sure who the guy was who plays his brother. Sorry, I don't have that.
No,
but
I don't have it.
But they were really, I really believed them together.
Yeah.
And the character that Sam Elliott plays, so Calvin Barr, he obviously goes to his brother a fair bit, but they don't necessarily talk.
Yeah.
There's a couple of times when they meet, and Ed says, "Do you want to talk, or do you just want to sit here quietly?"
Yeah.
And you could just tell that there's that respect there between them, and I just really liked the little character moments that came up between them.
I really did as well. And so while he's having his haircut, it flashes back again to young Calvin, and this is the point where the Russian man takes him as far as he can take him to wherever they are in behind enemy lines, and he's got a dog.
Yeah, I didn't really understand why he had a dog.
No, because it didn't really come up again.
Other than it's a parallel for him having
he's got a dog in the future as well.
Yeah, and I think that's the only thing I could come up with.
Yeah.
Because there was no storyline reason for him to be walking around with this dog in Nazi Germany.
No, there wasn't, but he had it.
Well, it was a German Shepherd.
It was. Good spot. And this is where he starts to dress as a Nazi as well. And do you say Nazi? I think.
Yeah.
The SS, wasn't it? So he dressed in their uniform, and you get a bit of a travel montage.
Yes. So have you written down which modes of transportation he takes?
There was definitely a train.
So he walks.
Yeah.
Then he gets in the back of a truck.
Yeah.
Then he's on a rowboat. Randomly.
Yeah.
Then he's on a train.
Yeah.
And there's lots of beautiful countryside, and it's all very nice. And then you realise when the train comes to a stop that he is getting off the train.
Yeah.
And because it's empty, there's no one on the train that we can see. And he gets off and walks towards this base.
Yeah.
And coming the other way are hundreds and hundreds of Jews.
Yeah.
Getting loaded onto this train.
Yeah. There's a lot more poignant than I was expecting. Yeah. There's a lot more like, whoa moments.
Yeah. And that's all it is, and that's all you see. But it really made me sort of stop and be like,
Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting this.
No, I wasn't expecting this at all. Then it kind of goes through that first scene again, doesn't it? The first flashback scene again, where he's meeting up with the guy and he's trying to get in this country house or whatever it is. And it takes you through him assembling the gun again, and then he gets to the office. And it turns out the man in the office is Adolf Hitler.
Yeah.
He hands him they sit down and they're having a bit of a chat, don't they?
Yeah, they sit down at the desk, don't they? Either side of the desk.
And he hands him an envelope, or Bart hands Hitler an envelope, which he opens, and inside is the US Army Needs You poster.
Yeah, I want you. I loved that. That made me laugh as well.
Yeah.
And Hitler obviously looks up
shocked. Shocked, yeah. And Bar's got this makeshift gun pointed at his head, and shoots him in the head.
Yeah.
Right through the back of it. You see it from the back of his chair, don't you? You see the bullet come through the back of his chair and a bit of blood trickles through. So we're what? 15 minutes in? 20 minutes in?
Yeah, something like that.
Hitler's already dead.
Yeah.
So you think
That's half your title done already?
Yeah. Yeah, it threw me a little bit. This film is not what I was expecting it to be, but that is not necessarily a bad thing.
No.
So then after that, we cut back to the present day, and he's pulling up his house in his car, isn't he?
Yeah. And it's more just routine. Feed
Yeah.
the dog, have his TV dinner.
Yeah. Has his ready meal, doesn't he? And
Yeah, and another car. Is it? I didn't know if you hear where you see another car pull
yeah,
up on
another
the
car
street,
definitely pulls up behind him.
which Bar hasn't noticed.
Yeah. Then we cut back to another flashback.
Yeah.
So the whole film is just between the two timelines, but it's really well done. It never gets complicated, and it's
So he sits down. So the way they do this one is he sits down on his chair. He pulls back the foil on the TV dinner, and
Yeah.
he looks down at it. This horrible looking microwave dinner, and then when he looks up,
He's
it's
in
a
a restaurant.
flashback, and he's in a restaurant.
He's in a restaurant.
So it's nicely done. There's a lot of thought.
The way the
gone into
flashbacks
it.
are done are all really nice, and he's with his lady. What was her name? Maxine.
Maxine.
Yeah, and they're kind of having a meal together in a posh restaurant.
He says this is their first date, and she says, "Well, no, we've been on lots of dates." And he's like, "Well, this is our first proper date.
Yeah.
We've been to the cinema. We've done, but he's took her out."
Yeah, and she's a teacher.
Yes,
because they get interrupted now by a quite rude couple who just come up to them during their meal.
Yeah,
and they're the parents of one of the kids that she teaches.
Yeah,
and because he's about to propose, isn't it? I don't think we're giving anything away there to say.
No, it's on his mind.
It's definitely on his mind. He's got a ring in his hand under the table.
Yeah, and this scene is just both by the end of the scene they've told each other they love each other. So again, it's just showing you they're quite a way into this relationship. Obviously, they're quite serious.
Yeah, so and you can tell he's about to do that, but this couple things keep happening to interrupt them, and it doesn't really happen, so he doesn't do it. They go dancing instead. They have a bit of a late night dancing session, and then we're back to the present day again with old Kelvin, and he's got this box that he keeps under his bed.
Yeah, so this we've seen this a couple of times while he's going about his routine.
Yeah, so he kind of sits on his bed, grabs this box from under his bed, and he keeps teasing opening it.
Yeah,
and it's almost like he can't. He's kind of looking at it, and he unclips one of the clasps at one point.
But he's always checking it's still there. Is it still there? Is it? So he's obviously.
But he just can't bring himself to open it and to look at what's inside it. And then he throws all his medication away.
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
And it's almost like he's given up at that point.
Yeah, he's at his lowest ebb now.
He's getting to this stage now where he's like, he's finished with life. He's kind of old. He's got nothing really to live for anymore. And he kind of has a bit of a nap on the sofa, and he gets woken up by a knock on the door. And it's the FBI. A couple of FBI guys turn up.
It's one FBI guy.
Yeah.
And one guy from the Royal Canadian Mounted Police.
Yeah. Who is in About Schmidt.
Is
it? Not About Schmidt, but what am I talking about?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Schitt's Creek. That program I've just watched 5 seasons of and already forgot the title of. Yeah, he's in that. He plays the estate agent Ray in About Schmidt.
And the FBI guy...
Schitt's Creek.
The FBI guy is Ron Livingston.
Yeah.
From Office Space.
Yes, he is. So, 2 people that we've spoke about before.
And he also had a big role in Band of Brothers.
Yeah.
Another war series.
Yeah.
And he's always good when he pops up and stuff, so I was very happy to see.
Yeah, it's a small cameo, isn't it? But it's good.
And what are they here for?
Rather bizarrely, they turn up to tell him. Well, basically, they start off by saying, "Look, a lot of people are dying in Canada. There's something's kicking off in Canada.
Yeah,
there's some killings going on."
Yeah, he says, "Have you heard about the killings?
Have you heard about the killings up north?" Yeah.
So it's obviously they've hit the news.
Yeah, and the FBI guy says, "My grandfather knew you, and he told me a lot of stories about you, and you're like a kind of a legend in my eyes."
Yeah, there was a nice line in here as well. The FBI guy, who is never named throughout this, he said, "My grandfather told me some things he probably shouldn't have."
Yeah,
about you.
So we kind of know what he's hinting at, because
Yeah.
we've just seen what they're obviously talking about. But they tell him they need his tracking skills because obviously he managed to track down Hitler all those years ago, and and then the guy from Schitt's Creek says it could mean the end of the world. So he's that dramatic about it.
But it's
He's
dead low key,
completely,
and that's funny.
Yeah,
it really works.
Yeah, and putting a comedian or comedic actor in that role was quite a good idea, I think. And then they show him some photographs of what's going on up north, and they show him a photograph of the Bigfoot.
Yeah,
and it kind of all gets a little bit crazy from here on in because they tell him it's got some sort of nightmare plague.
Yeah,
that's how they describe
Bigfoot's
it.
Sick.
It's ill. Yeah, it's sick. And they call it the nightmare plague because everything it touches it is infecting and it is killing. Everything it goes anywhere near, it's just killing off.
So all the wildlife in this radius that they've drawn.
In Canada.
In the outlands of Canada.
But then they say to him, "You're immune to this virus."
Yeah. Like, what the hell? Where's this come from?
Which is pretty much exactly what he said.
Yeah.
And he's unique because he's the only man alive who can help. Because they say that there's like 4 people who are immune to it, but they're all dead.
Yeah, a couple of them have already been and tried to get Bigfoot, I think. That's what I took.
That's what I think.
And he's like, how do you know I'm immune?
Yeah. And he's like, well, we've got your blood on file.
Yeah.
Somehow. And then they say as well that they're almost ready to nuke Canada.
Yeah.
So they're ready to just wipe Canada off the map completely.
The fingers over the button.
Yeah, the fingers over the button is And so they're prepared to write Canada off the map completely. And then they tell him that they saw the attempted mugging the other night, and they know that he's still got his wits about him, and he's able to go.
So yeah, Bigfoot's on the move. He's travelling south, and everything he touches dies.
Yeah.
And they ask Calvin if he is up for the task.
Yeah. The FBI man pretty much outright now asks him, doesn't he? He says, "Are the stories true?" And Calvin replies with, "Yeah, I killed Hitler." Basically, he tells the guy, doesn't he? And he's like, but he says it made no difference. All it did was kill a man. His ideas and his legacy lived on.
Yeah.
I really like that line. I thought that was because it was something that he'd obviously never told anybody before. His brother doesn't obviously know, I don't think. And he just came out of it.
Sam Elliott really plays this with so much gravitas.
It's beautiful. It's a beautiful performance.
As an individual who has got, don't want to give anything away at the minute, but he has got several things weighing very heavily on his shoulders.
Yeah.
And he does such a good job of showing that.
Really, really well done.
I mean, we'll talk about what we think of the film in general as we come to the end, but I am struggling as we sit here to think of many more individual performances in the films we've seen in our season and a half.
Yeah.
There's not many that are as good as he is in this film.
I agree. Couldn't agree more. If any.
It'd be a top couple, I would say.
Agreed. Yeah, definitely.
He's really good.
It's a great performance. It really is. His next line's really good as well because he says, "They just replaced him. I just killed a man. The monster lived on."
Yeah.
Really well written. It's a really well written film, to be fair. And then he tells them, "I can't help you. So you need to leave. You need to get out." He basically kicks them out, doesn't he? Because he doesn't even... He offered them coffee at the beginning, but then he even tells them they can't have any of that. He kicks them out. And is this the point now where he meets up with his brother again?
Yeah,
there's a small flashback.
There's a small flashback, which is Calvin leaving for war.
Yeah.
And so he's saying goodbye to his parents and his little brother, who's still very much a kid.
Kids, yeah.
So what, 8, 9, something like that, I would say. And as he's leaving, little Ed gives him a hug, and he gives him a little dinosaur trinket.
Yeah, it's like a silver dinosaur.
Yeah, a sort of good luck type thing.
Because he says that's your favourite one, and he says, "Take it.
Yeah,
I want you to have it." Which is a nice little scene.
And then it flashes back to he's met Ed in present day.
Yeah,
in the park.
Yeah,
in the middle of the night.
Yeah,
on a bench.
On a bench in the middle of the night,
drinking cocoa.
Yes, and he basically tells Ed about the meeting that he's just had.
He says they want me to kill Bigfoot.
They want me to kill Bigfoot is what he says.
And he plays it. The guy who plays Ed just plays it so subtly. He's just like, oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, of course they'd want you.
Yeah, you're the best.
Yeah.
Of course they want you. And
but there's no. I've said this before. That I like that this movie sticks to its rules.
Yeah.
So no one's going, oh, Bigfoot.
What, a Bigfoot? Yeah.
Nah, it doesn't exist. But it's just, everyone just
accepts it.
Yeah.
Because they trust him.
Yeah.
And who he is, because he's a nice guy. And at this point, we still don't think he's going to do it, or we're told earlier on that he's not going to do it. But then he says to Ed, "Will you look after the dog?"
Yeah.
I really like that as well. I thought that was a really nice line as well, because then you could see he'd obviously been thinking about it, and he decided that he was going to do it.
And then Ed says, he says, "Yep, of course I will, but be careful, because I still want to go fishing with you."
Yeah. Because that's their whole thing, isn't it? That he was trying to get him to go fishing and he won't do it. And then this film takes a turn.
I love this. So it literally like this, click your fingers.
Boom. We're into like
next
helicopters,
army bases, forest fire.
Everything's
so it's a bit like in ET when they've got all those tents.
Yeah. And talking of ET, quickly going off subject. Have you seen the Sky advert?
No.
It's the Sky's Christmas advert is ET.
Right.
And it's the return of ET coming back and being showed new technology.
Okay.
And he meets up with this family, and the dad of the family is Elliott from ET.
Oh,
It's brilliant.
I have heard about
It almost made me cry, and it's an advert. It's beautiful.
I'll go and find it.
Check it out. Honestly, it's really good.
What was I going to say?
I don't
So,
know.
yes. So, and you've got all this going on, and then suddenly you just see from behind, you see the silhouette of Bar.
Yeah.
And the whole screen is just on fire.
Yeah.
So what the army have basically done is they've lit a ring of fire around.
Yeah, there's like I think they said
Exclusion
40-mile
zone.
radius exclusion zone.
Yeah.
I think they said 40-mile. Yeah, they call it the dead zone, and it's kind of nothing get in, nothing get out. Is basically what they're saying.
Yeah.
And that shot of him standing in front of that ring of fire is beautiful.
It's awesome.
It is really good.
And then we're reintroduced to so the FBI guy and the mounted police guy, and they're fully hazmated up.
Yeah.
And
But he doesn't need to be because he's immune to this virus.
And Bar's just walking through cool as ice.
Yeah.
And they take him to a weapons cache, basically.
Yeah, the guy says, we didn't have much of a budget for weapons, so I brought my personal stash. The
But it's
FBI guy said. But it's something like Men in Black.
Yeah.
He's got like a whole wall of guns. And I really like this bit as well because he goes up to the wall, he barely even looks at it, and he says, I'll have that gun, that scope, and I want this knife.
That's it.
And that's it. And I'm like, that's brilliant. 'Cause he didn't even look, he just knew exactly what he wanted. It's beautiful. And
then it goes bam again.
Yeah.
And we're in the forest.
Yeah. But just before that, they said to him, once you're in, we're going to fall back and you'll be the only person in like this 40-mile radius. We're going to leave. And so they leave him at the line of fire, and instantly you see him shooting at the Bigfoot.
Yeah.
Like straight away.
So it's
like the very next scene.
Yeah, the scene opens and you're looking through the gun sight at Bigfoot.
Yeah. But he misses it. Well, he misses or he wings it. He grazes it slightly. And it runs away and he runs after it. And he falls off a cliff.
Yeah. It kind of leads him off a cliff, doesn't it?
Yeah. This doddery old man that we've been following for the last hour suddenly is now this like action hero. And he manages to climb. He kind of free climbs back up, doesn't he? And he's broken his finger.
Yeah, so he has to pop that back
in. So he pops that back in.
It's a nice snap.
The guys radio into him, don't they? He's got this like, not like sat phone, but it is like a radio. And he tells them what's happened, and then he says, I'm not going to talk to you again, and he throws the radio in the lake.
He said there's another funny line in that. Again, it just came out of nowhere, and I wasn't expecting it, and it really made me laugh. And he said, Bar says, he hasn't actually really got big feet.
Yeah, I did see that. I did like that.
Yeah, and he does. He loves the radio in
the radio in the lake, and he comes up to, he sees a dead moose, doesn't he?
Yeah, it's all like manky
and rotted. It's you can tell Canada's not in a good way.
No, so it's basically a bit of a tracking montage.
And he climbs up this like sheer rock face.
Yeah, Dawn walls it, doesn't he?
Completely Dawn walls it, and but with no ropes whatsoever.
No.
It's like a sheer rock face, and he climbs up here and he finds a cave and he sleeps in this cave, doesn't he?
Yeah, he sees an owl.
Yeah,
sick deer. It's all like dripping.
Yeah,
foam and
everything's
blood and guts.
Yeah, and we get our first flashback for a while.
Yeah, so he goes to sleep, doesn't he? He
Yeah.
settles down to sleep and he puts the little metal dinosaur on watch.
Yeah.
So he's still got it with him now.
That's a really nice scene as well because he kind of puts it in the doorway of the cave, and as the camera pans back, it looks like full size
dinosaur
looking out.
Yeah, it's nice.
It's really, really well shot. And this flashback is it Maxine, isn't it?
Yeah.
And she's writing letters to him. And she writes him a letter. Did she say every day, or she'd written a letter every day?
Every day or every other day. I'm not sure.
Yeah. But she's decided she's going to wait for him, but she's going to move back to her hometown.
Yeah.
And because were her parents ill, I think something was wrong with her parents.
Yeah,
She
one
had
of them
to
wasn't
move
very
home.
well, I think.
Yeah.
And she says, all I know is I know that you're not getting these letters because I've watched the postman bring them back to your house.
And she'd seen,
And all they're telling me is that I can't talk to you because you're doing something top secret, basically.
Yeah. But then you can see a scene of him when he gets back home.
Yeah, so he's come. Calvin's now come back from war, having completed the Hitler
and
mission.
He's got all these letters, and he just puts them in the bin.
Yeah, well, no, he reads one.
He reads
at least one.
Yeah,
which is her telling him about her moving home.
Yeah,
and he breaks down again.
Yeah, and he's got this like hat box full of them, hasn't he? And he just goes and puts that in the trash.
Yeah,
it was quite sad. And then we go back to the present day again. We're flashing all over the place, and he's still tracking this Bigfoot, and then he sees it.
Yeah,
and it's kind of lying on a rock.
Yeah, so it's kind of like on a plateau, isn't it? On a cliff top.
It's not in a good way.
No.
What did you think of the look of the Bigfoot?
Do I say cheap? It looked a bit cheap, but it didn't take me out of the moment.
No, I think they tried to go for the realism side of it in the fact that it was just a humanized monkey.
Yeah.
It was not even any taller than Calvin was.
It was a little bit, but they were going for a kind of missing link type thing, weren't they?
It wasn't like this.
It wasn't like
type thing that you.
Yeah, it wasn't like 10, 11 foot high.
No, it was human sized.
Yeah.
But monkey featured.
Yeah, I was fine with it.
The costume wasn't great.
No,
but because it clearly was a man in a costume.
Yeah.
But I'm going to let it off because
it didn't take me out of the.
It didn't take me out of it either. And you hear all these stories of Bigfoot, and it is probably just a big monkey.
You're a big monkey.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's kind of dying on the rock, and he goes and sits next to it, doesn't he? And he grabs its hand.
He holds its hand.
Yeah, and kind of he cries.
Yeah,
sitting next to it, and he cries a lot in this film.
Yeah, he does.
It's so sad. It's a really poignant moment that they have, and he thinks he kind of dies. It shuts its eyes and dies off. So he thinks, all right, I'm gonna give it a funeral. Yeah. I'm gonna get some sticks.
He's gonna
set it on fire. I'm gonna cremate it.
Thing.
So he piles up some sticks and twigs next to it, and gets his lighter out, and he sets it on fire. And the bloody thing made me shit myself.
Oh, I'm glad you did, because I absolutely jumped out of my skin.
Absolutely. I was sitting exactly where you're sitting now, and I was on the floor. Literally, I've never jumped so hard.
It shot up and swiped at him.
And yeah, it did.
Oh.
Yeah. About a heart attack.
Yeah, me too.
I'm not a young man anymore.
And they have a scrap.
Yeah, they have a fight, and
it's a good fight.
It's a really good fight,
so,
and it goes on for a little while.
So Calvin's only armed with his knife at this point.
Yeah.
And he's slashing away at the Bigfoot. And then there's some serious arm breakage.
Yeah. Calvin gets his arm broken violently.
Like, Bigfoot snaps it the wrong way at the elbow.
It was like something out of Revenger.
Yeah, it was.
Going back to Revenger, which we've not mentioned a lot of since we watched it, but it was a really good film.
Check out, I think it was episode 23 in season 1.
Good knowledge. Finished 3rd or 4th in the stream table. It's right up there.
Korean martial arts film.
Yeah.
A lot of fun.
A lot of violence, but it was a lot of fun.
And eventually somehow sort of Calvin turns the tide and he stabs the fuck out of the Bigfoot.
Yeah.
And would you like to then tell me what happens? Because this was well out of left field.
It vomited all over him.
And in his mouth and everything.
Yeah.
Like,
because it was on top, wasn't it? He was lying down and he was stabbing it from underneath.
Bigfoot blew chunks
all over him.
All over him. And in him.
Everywhere. And in him and on him and all over him. But then it kind of runs away. It does get away for a little bit.
Sort of limps away.
Yeah.
That must... Bigfoot vomit must stink.
Yeah, especially from an ill Bigfoot as well. It's a good job he was immune to this disease that it had got. But then
it's a lot as well.
A lot. Like an awful lot.
Like, there is pints worth of this stuff. Yeah.
It was a really weird scene. It was really out of context for the rest of the film. But it didn't not work.
It's odd because it was well out of kilter of everything else.
It really was.
But it kind of wasn't.
Yeah.
I liked how random some of the bits in this movie were.
But then he quickly finds it and he shoots it in the head.
I think they're basically back on top of that sort of
pretty
cliff
much
top.
Back to that cliff top where they found
and again, it's just nicely shot, so you just see their silhouettes.
Yeah.
And Calvin's got his gun back.
Yeah.
And he basically executes the Bigfoot.
Yeah, he kind of says, I didn't want to do this or something, doesn't he? And then just shoots him in the head.
Yeah.
So now the Bigfoot's dead. Yeah. So we're I'm going to say about an hour into the film.
So more than that.
A bit more, do you reckon?
Yeah. It's only an hour and a half, isn't it? So
yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe an hour and 10 minutes. And we talked about that scene then for quite a long time, but it's quite quick. It's the whole tracking montage doesn't go on for very long.
Yeah, it's a bit longer than the whole Hitler thing, but
but not a lot. But then after he shot it, he kind of collapses.
Yeah, he's not in a good way.
His
arm's broken.
It's definitely not in a good way because the very next scene is Calvin's funeral.
Yeah, it is. It's Ed speaking at Calvin's funeral.
Ed is delivering a eulogy at Calvin's funeral.
So he says a few things. So he talks about how an honourable man
he was,
that Calvin was. But the key takeaway from this is that Ed says that Calvin loved a girl, but war kept them apart.
Yeah.
And sadly, she died far too young.
Yeah.
So
she died before he came home.
The kicker.
I think we find out, don't we?
Yeah.
And it's really sad.
And that's essentially what this film is about. It is a character story. It is
100%.
It just happens to be about a man who happened to kill Hitler and the Bigfoot.
Yeah, it's completely secondary. But we'll come to that at the end. So his brother goes on this fishing trip that he's always wanted to go on, and he goes alone.
With the dog.
And Calvin shows up.
Yeah.
This threw me a little bit, because he's there, and they get on the boat together, and they have a bit of a chat.
Do a bit of fishing.
And then he goes home. And he says to his brother, "Did you bury the box that's under my bed?"
He says, "What did you bury?"
What did you bury? Yeah.
And Ed says, "We buried your uniform and your medals."
Yeah.
And then when they're later on, they're at a school play.
Yes. Yeah.
And watching some grandchildren.
I think it's Ed's grandchildren.
I presume so.
Yeah.
And Calvin asks Ed, "Did you bury the box from under my bed?"
And Ed said, "Yes, I did."
Yeah.
And then Calvin gives him his toy dinosaur back.
Yeah.
Which was nice poignant moment. And
so then we get a flashback.
Yeah, sorry, I can't read my own writing.
No,
we get a flashback back to young Calvin, and he's with his love, his Maxine, on the night before he was deploying to wherever he was going.
Yeah.
And
so he's already asleep.
Yeah.
And she does the old throw some stones at the window, wakes up, and they go for a walk.
Yeah.
In the night.
And she basically says to him, "I can't watch you leave," because just as they're about to get back.
Yeah, he says, will you come and see me in the morning as I leave?
And she says, "No, I can't watch you leave. When we get to your house, I'm going to keep walking.
Yeah.
And you're going to stop and like pretend to tie your shoe or something. And I'm just going to keep walking, and we're not going to do the big goodbye because I can't do it."
And she basically says, when we do see each other again, it will be like you're just standing up from tying your shoe.
Yeah. And so he does. When they get back to his house, he goes down to tie his shoe, and he gets this engagement ring out of his pocket again, and she just keeps walking.
Yeah, and the camera is in looking at Maxine as she's walking towards the camera, and then you can see Calvin behind her on one knee, with the engagement ring out, and he says her name, and she doesn't turn around, and she just says, "You can catch up to me quick."
Yeah.
Oh my word!
Wow.
I'd nearly gone.
Yeah.
Totally emotional.
I wouldn't have been far behind you. It was so emotional. So at that point, that's when we realised that he never did manage to propose to her.
Yeah.
And she died before he came back from the war. Wow. Which is why he obviously took the love letters away, because he couldn't bear to read them. And so he goes to his own grave, because for some reason he's faked his own death. We never find out why.
So this will be my criticism.
Yeah, agreed.
Did he fake his own death? That's not clear.
No.
Or was he just missing presumed Ed?
Yeah.
But then he's back in his old house.
Yeah.
He's making no... or is it a cover-up again?
I'm going to go with...
He's making no effort to hide himself now he's back.
No, I think he's missing presumed dead, and then he turns up.
Yeah,
we'll
go with that.
It doesn't say how far between the funeral and the fishing trip.
No.
What sort of time we're talking about.
But his arm's still in a sling.
Yeah,
so
and his ear's still bandaged.
Yeah, so it's not
It's not that far. No, you're right.
And that doesn't work.
No, it doesn't.
That
and
doesn't
it's a
tie
shame,
up.
because it didn't need to be there. It didn't need to have that funeral scene.
No.
It just didn't matter. And then...
It's only so he can go and dig this stuff up now.
He could have just gone under his bed and got it.
Yeah.
Because he goes to his own grave and he starts digging.
Yeah.
And he digs up his own grave, basically.
Yeah.
He opens the coffin when he gets there, and he opens up the box that was under his bed before, but he still can't open it.
No, he does open it.
He does open it.
He has a peek inside.
Yeah.
And he closes
it again.
So we don't see what's in it.
We never see what's inside it. We can have a good guess at what's inside it, but we have no idea what's inside it.
And I'm sure we will in a minute.
Yeah. Because we're coming right up to the end now, because the very last scene of the film is him walking along. Has he got the dog, or he's walking along the street?
Yeah, he calls the dog. Yeah, he's with the dog.
And he takes his shoe off because he's got a stone in his shoe again, and this time it does come out.
So he kneels down again.
Yeah.
Like we've just seen.
In this pretty much the same spot. And this, as he shakes his shoe, the stone comes out.
Yeah.
And that's the end of your film.
And he basically says something like, "Oh, finally got it."
Yeah. And then he calls the dog, and he's all happy and jolly.
And he walks off into the evening.
That's the end. What were your thoughts?
I really liked it.
I loved it. I thought it was really good. It's really emotional.
Yeah.
It's definitely the most emotional film we've watched.
It's really sweet. It's really touching, and it's got a real throwbackness to it.
Like you said earlier, it's a proper character study about this guy. And the way Sam Elliott plays, I nearly said Sam Neill then. I warned you before I was going to say Sam Neill.
You've done very well.
I have, and I haven't said it yet. The way Sam Elliott plays it is so well played that you got so much empathy for him by the end. When it finished, I just sat and watched the screen.
And then like I say, it feels like a real sort of all the bits in the present day that are the character bits feel like they belong to an older film.
Yeah.
And then it just so happens we've got these action sequences where he killed Hitler.
Yeah.
And then he tracked and killed the Bigfoot.
But there's an issue. There is an issue with the film in that its title portrays it as something completely different to what it is.
But that's
you
trying
can't
to
call
hook
this
people.
film anything else.
No, probably not.
You can't, because it is about the man who killed Hitler and the Bigfoot, and you can't have that as like a subplot. You can't have a war film called like War and Love or whatever you want to call it, and then have it about a man who killed Hitler and a Bigfoot.
Yeah.
You've got to call it this title, but this film isn't the film that the title portrays it as.
Plus
it's a real conundrum.
Plus, it helps hook people in.
Yeah, definitely. But it also probably puts people off.
Maybe, because you think, oh, I'm getting one of these crappy asylum type.
That's exactly what I was
films,
expecting.
And
it isn't that.
No, you're actually getting a bit of a gut punch
of
of
really poignant, emotional love story
of a guy who's got this weight, like I say, this weight on his shoulders of these.
He killed this man,
dealing with what he did in the war, but ultimately the fact that he never got to say goodbye to the love of his life, and he's had to deal with that for years and years.
Yeah,
and
he never got to propose to her, and she died
what
before
might
he
have
came
been.
home. And then the whole Hitler thing and the whole Bigfoot thing are really secondary, if not. What's the word for third? They're like secondary story
tertiary.
Tertiary. They're like secondary plot points to the film. The Hitler thing comes within the first 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And the Bigfoot thing, it is a bit goofy, the whole Bigfoot scene. And it is. There's no getting around it. It is a bit goofy.
It is.
But it doesn't take anything away from the film, but it's a really odd film, but it's really good.
It's really different.
It's completely not what I was expecting it.
And it's not everything works in this film.
No.
But it tries a lot of different things.
Yeah.
And the juxtaposition between getting vomited on by Bigfoot and then 5 minutes later, this really touching scene of her walking away as he's trying to propose to her.
Yeah.
I just thought, I really enjoyed it. It was a real surprise.
Yeah.
And it was a nice surprise.
It was.
But it wasn't what I thought we were getting.
No, like you said, I was expecting a B-movie, asylum-style B-movie of war film / hunting Bigfoot film. It really isn't that. It really isn't. But the title has to be what the title is.
I'd be really intrigued to see what Robert D. Krakowski does next.
Yeah, me too.
Because I think there was a lot in this to sort of mark him out as someone to keep an eye on.
Beautifully shot. There's some really nice shots.
The scenes where Calvin's tracking Bigfoot through
the Canadian wilderness.
Through the wilderness are absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
There's a point where he's wading waist deep through the marshes and then the sun's going down and it's great. It looks beautiful. Beautiful looking film.
Definitely. I would recommend this film to anybody. Don't let the title put you off and don't let the title drag you in. But it's a really, really, really good film.
So what was in the box?
The engagement ring?
That's pretty much what I think. So I think there's three options.
Oh, okay.
Personally. Well, it's either the letters.
Yeah.
Because when he looks out the window in the morning, the bin's been knocked over that he put the letters in.
True.
So you could presume that the trash guys have come and taken it.
You do hear like vehicle noises outside.
Do you?
Yeah.
Or he could have gone and gone back.
Yeah.
So I thought it was the letters. It's something to do with like, and I think this is maybe what they want you to think at the start. It's like some secret war stuff.
Yeah.
So it's like some documents relating to the whole Hitler thing.
Yeah.
But we know that's not what this film is about.
No,
so I don't think it's
what
that.
this film's about.
So I think it is the ring.
I think
it's a big box for the ring to go
could
in.
Be all of the above.
Could be the ring and the letters.
Could be the ring and the letters.
Quite a big box.
Yeah, it's quite a big box.
But,
maybe it's pictures of her.
I like that we didn't find out.
Yeah,
as well.
yeah, agreed. I really like that.
Left to the imagination and all that.
Yeah.
What were you going to mention about stones?
The stones. So I read a theory on IMDb's trivia that just after he kills Hitler is the first time he can't get the stone out of his shoe, and just after he kills the Bigfoot, he gets the stone out of his shoe because when he killed Hitler, it didn't make any difference, but when he killed the Bigfoot, he saved Canada. So not being able to get the shoe out, it's like a metaphor.
Okay.
So not being able to get this stone out of your shoe because you didn't make any difference, so you're not made any changes, but then when you did get it out, your life became better because you saved the world.
He was at peace as well.
Yeah. That's basically what I think. That's what it was trying to say. That's what this theory said.
Good. I had a good time watching this.
I agree. I think it's a good wild card pick by myself.
Yeah, it worked out nicely.
Even though it wasn't what I was expecting it to be when I picked it out.
Yeah, it was a real pleasant surprise.
Yeah, it really was. Have you got a trivia question?
I do. Hang on, I need to find a page.
Okie dokie. I know mine off the top of my head.
I think it's your turn to go first.
Is it?
I think so.
Okay. During this film,
yes,
Calvin Barr owns a dog in both timelines.
Yeah.
Both dogs have the same name.
Oh, do they? I didn't pick that up.
Do you know the name of the dog?
Ralph.
Well done.
Yes.
Excellent. Oh, you pulled level. Yeah, both dogs were called Ralph.
Oh, I didn't. I picked up that. In the present day, it was called Ralph.
Yeah.
When was it mentioned in the?
I don't know. The dog on IMDb is the German Shepherd is credited on IMDb as Ralph. Okay. So
good. I'm excited.
Oh no, I've drawn level. You've drawn level with me. I'm scared.
Okay, so my question is, when Maxine is writing all the letters
Yeah.
to Calvin, she makes a reference to the sort of stamps that she's putting on all the letters.
Yeah.
And he likes... So they're themed stamps.
Yeah.
And he likes this thing. So what are the stamps?
Dick Tracy.
Oh, yeah. Well done.
Wow. I don't know how I remember that, but I do.
Good.
Yeah.
Good
Dick
knowledge.
Tracy stamps. Oh, so we both got one right. That's the first.
Well, that wasn't level for very long. Thanks for that.
Pulled level. Awesome. Excellent. So we've gone to 3-2. We'll have
Yeah.
to try and remember because it's been 2-1 for so long. We'll forget.
We probably will.
Excellent. So yeah, 3-2 to me. So we'll go with next week, see what happens. Do you want to talk about the stream table?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want me to run down the whole thing or should I just run? I think we're only going to need the top half.
Yeah,
Am I
go.
right?
Let's go. Go top half.
So we'll go from 5. So Office Uprising is currently in 5. Michael Inside is currently at number 4. Handsome, a Netflix mystery movie, is at number 3. What Keeps You Alive is currently at number 2, and Hush sits at the top of the stream table.
Okay, so I presume you're thinking top within those.
I'm
somewhere.
thinking top 5, definitely.
Okay.
What about you?
Yeah, I think so. It feels like a long time since I know it's not that long, but
No.
we've seen a couple of really, really bad movies the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, we have.
So
It's not been fun times lately.
my only hesitancy is, did that
Cloud your judgment.
cloud my
slightly.
judgment on this a bit? But I don't think it did.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, I've got an idea where I would put it. Do you want me to go first, or you go for it?
Yeah, go first. See what happens.
For me, this would come in third.
Yeah, I agree. That's
Really?
exactly what I would have said.
Oh, that's a rarity.
It really is. It is a better film than Netflix, or the Netflix one, Handsome, a Netflix mystery movie. It's really close between What Keeps You Alive and this for me.
Yeah.
Because it's going to sound really silly, but they're quite similar films.
So I think
Similar
there's
style to them.
I think there's a real parallel to them.
Yeah.
Not only because they're both very outdoorsy,
Yeah.
but they are the two films on this list that have surprised me in a nice way,
Yes.
because they are something that I didn't think I was getting from them.
Yeah.
Both for very different reasons, but there's definitely a parallel there. So
Yeah, there is definitely.
my
think
slight preference would be for What Keeps You Alive.
Yeah, just because it's so different and unusual and a really good film.
And
A really
that thing that happens in that is so out of nowhere.
Yeah, it really is.
Go back and listen to the episode if you want to hear about that. But this would be just below that for me, I think.
I agree. It's a really, really good film, and the top 5 films, or top 6 films on the stream table now are all brilliant, and this one deserves to be right up there with them for me.
Yeah,
yeah.
I had a good time watching this. I really enjoyed it.
Me too.
I mean, I'm not sure everyone would think that. If you're going in and you're like, I think I'm getting something,
Yeah,
and this film doesn't turn out to be what you think you were getting, then you might be disappointed. But
Yeah,
if
I
you're
can see
prepared
that.
to give it a chance and go with
then
it,
I did that. I went in expecting it to be this B movie, like comedy. How can this film with that name not be a comedy?
Yeah.
And actually be one of the like really emotional, poignant film. And I went in expecting one thing, got something completely different, but I was not disappointed
yeah,
in any way, shape, or form.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Good.
Good, excellent. Go out there, watch The Man Who Killed Hitler and then the Bigfoot.
Yeah,
because it's brilliant.
Great title.
Great title. Maybe a little bit out of place, but there's nothing else you can call it. There's literally has to be called that.
Yeah.
Right. Let's pick next week's film, shall we?
Let's do it.
Open my app. Annoyingly, the noise didn't play last week on this show, and I had
Did it
to
not?
cut it out of another show and put it in. Took me ages, so I'm going to make sure it does this time. Right. Have we added anything new to the list? Yes. Ross Cook suggested a new addition to the list earlier in the week.
Oh, okay.
So that has gone on.
I've got one, but I don't think I remember finding it, but I don't think I added it on, so I need to go and do that.
I'm not sure how many's on this list now, but there's quite a few.
Yeah.
So I'm going to press the button now, and we'll pick next week's film. It has picked a film called Burning Sands.
Oh, okay.
Any ideas?
None whatsoever.
I will IMDb it, and we'll see what it is. Oh. Okay, Burning Sands is a Netflix original from 2017.
Okay.
Do you want to know the synopsis?
Yes, please.
Deep into Hell Week, a favoured pledge is torn between honouring his code of silence or standing up against the intensifying violence of underground hazing.
Okay.
Do you want to watch the trailer?
Yeah.
Welcome to Whataburger. Can I take your order?
30 sausage biscuits, 30 hash browns.
Oh, with egg and cheese on those, please. Hold on now. What, you ain't got no napkins?
It's all about the brotherhood. After pledging, a lambda man is ready for anything.
It's a rite of passage. We gonna earn this shit.
You are in the good hands of generations of tradition.
Greetings, big brother!
And honorable brothers.
Yo, if we make it through Hell Night, that'll be us out there. You know that.
The brother's gonna be your new family now. They're gonna have you backs for life.
This right here.
We come from kings and queens, man, not slaves. You, kings. Hello? Yes, sir. I'll be there in 10 minutes. Yes, sir.
How bad you want it, boy?
I want to be a...
Shut up! Let me tell you something about getting into that fraternity. You got him!
Find out what just any people will quietly submit to, and you will find out the exact measure of injustice and wrong.
Y'all think it's tough? Nah. Just wait for Hell Night.
If we ever get free from the oppressions and wrongs heaped upon us, we must pay for the removal.
You're injured, aren't you? And you really should get it looked at.
I'm just trying to keep my head low and make it through a week, okay? Only a chosen few make it to the other side. Why don't matter?
You don't want to keep your line brothers waiting.
I don't think you understand.
Humiliation builds humility, and one more night is not going to kill you. This I know.
But we need to change, and we need it now because the lives of our students and the honor of this fraternity is at stake.
You are merely facing what other men have met.
When you're up against trouble, meet it squarely face to face. Lift your chin, say shoulders, playing for you and taking breaks. When it's vain to try and dodge it, do the best that you can do. You may fail and you may conquer. See it through, see it through, see it through.
Land the fire, queen. Land the fire, queen. Land the fire, queen.
Welcome to Hell Night, fellas.
Wow.
That felt like a really long trailer.
It did. It really did feel like a really long trailer.
Nice and light-hearted.
Yeah, it looks like something we've not tackled before. Interesting subject matter. So go out and watch Burning Sands.
Let's give it a go.
We'll be back next week to talk about it.
Sure will.
Cheers.
Bye.
Bye.